to music first, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Thank you, vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast. I'm Benjamin Widdybank.
And I'm Tadeusz Cisłak.
Now today we're continuing our quickfire reviews of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. And we are now going through all of the big five and Sweden. We've already done France, we've already done Germany, and we've already done Italy. This leaves us with just three more. And today, the one we'll be looking at will be Spain's entry. Now, of course, yesterday, for all of you, if you've been paying attention, the big five all did their first rehearsals on stage in Malmö. Now, for us, we've not seen that yet. We've got no idea what is going to happen because these are all obviously pre-recorded, just being released now. So while you'll be able to listen to this with the context of what Spain will look like on the Eurovision stage, we do not know. So please keep that in mind. In fact, every single one of these quickfire reviews have been recorded before that entry has been performed on the Eurovision stage. But without further ado, let's continue through as we go to Spain's entry, which is Zora by Nebulosa. So Zora is a very interesting song. I mean, firstly, let's get out of the way. Let's start with the name. Now, the name has been of much contention. On RTVE's own live subtitling in English, which did appear during Benidorm Fest, they translated the song's lyrics as Zora meaning slut. And other translations have included whore or tart or vixen. It's mostly something pretty vulgar, but it means in the context of this song, yes, I can be that slut. Yes, I can be that bitch. Yes, I can be that whore. Yes, I can be that vixen in an empowering sort of way. And yes, obviously it's caused a big headache because there are very strict rules at the Eurovision Song Contest about these sorts of words being used. And it has been all approved because they've managed to successfully argue that it's fine because it means vixen, which is the only one of those words that isn't really vulgar. And also the fact that only Spanish-speaking countries are going to get the vulgarity of that, and in those countries, that's okay to be said on television. So it's basically they've managed to argue their way to getting it completely approved by the EBU, which is fairly interesting, I guess. But as a song, yeah, it's a big empowerment song about how women of a certain age can be sexualized and can be sexual in a really empowering way with their own sexuality being controlled by them themselves. And I think that's really interesting to then turn into quite a fun dance disco song, really. I think absolutely that's why Spain went, yeah, this is what we want to enter into the Eurovision Song Contest this year.
Since its arrival, Zora has been everything. People loved it, people hated it, people were completely indifferent about it. Some people put it in their top 10, while others forget that it even exists. It has wide but not universal appeal. What is fun in the 2020s music landscape? 80s nostalgia, simple and catchy melody, a controversial image of older women fulfilling sexual needs in the most vulgar and unapologetic way she can think of. The series is somewhat of an interesting social experiment.
And one which I think is great for streaming and for enjoying the performance and for concerts, tours and fandom. But I think in the terms of the context of the Eurovision Song Contest, where you're having to appeal to a televote and a jury vote, I feel that Zora ends up looking quite lacking technicality juries can clinch on, whether that comes to any complexity in the composition or production or in the vocals, which, to be honest, I mean, if you've heard the vocals, they are as flat as you can possibly get, not just in the performance, but in the studio version, so that really doesn't help. And then the televote. I just think this is going to be way down the list of priorities that they would go for. Some of them might be put off by the vulgarity of it. I think it will certainly be enjoyed, but I think compared to other entries really going for the televote, I think this is really not going to get far up the ladder of televoting points. To be honest, results-wise, I hate to say this, because I genuinely do like this entry, by the way. I really like Zora. It's been basically in and around my top 10 since it was released. But realistically, I think we're looking at bottom 5 for this, not because it's bad, but just because I think it's going to end up being overlooked by both voting categories, and it's not going to be sweeping up those points next week.
If Zora ends up with a high place, it will be kind of a failure of the class of 2024. I don't root for Zora, but I also don't root against it. But it's far from the most interesting song in 2024. It's still fun though.
Yes, and fun is the word. This is not, by any stretch of the imagination, the most competitive entry at this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but it is there to put on a show, to create a massive audience reaction, to be a whole lot of fun, and to create a memorable Eurovision Song Contest moment, which I'm sure the staging will do at a very, very certain part that will go down in the Eurovision Song Contest history books. But as far as results go, I don't think anyone's under any illusion this is going to do particularly well. But that's not the point of it. It's a big collective celebration, and I think that's great because I think it is a really fun entry, a really fun song, and I really like it. So I wish Spain the best of luck, and I hope the performance goes really, really well on both the 9th and 11th of May. So thank you for listening there for our quick fire review of the Spanish entry for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. As mentioned before, for all of you, rehearsals are in full swing. You would have seen rehearsals now for not just Spain there, but also every other song before Spain that we've already covered, and you would have seen the rehearsals for the United Kingdom and Sweden, which we're yet to cover. Speaking of, tomorrow we will be back with the United Kingdom's entry and all our thoughts on that. Of course, that is the entry from the country. I'm from the country where we're based, so it'll be very interesting to see just quite what we make of it and how we think it will do. But until then, if you want to keep up with us, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever else you may get your podcasts, and that includes YouTube, where you can subscribe to us, leave a comment down below, or give us a like. You can also interact with our Q&As on Spotify and leave your thoughts there. But thank you so very much for listening, and remember to vote for the music.
This is to music first, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Thank you, vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast.